And my guest today is an executive member of the Ghana Boxing Authority, that's the GBA, boxing promoter and a manager as well. He holds an economics graduate degree with a master's degree as well from the United Kingdom. He began his career in IT, telecoms, and gas and fire safety sales before venturing into boxing management. And as a boxing manager and promoter, he has achieved notable success managing title holders such as Ahmed, the world number 4 and the undefeated super bantamweight division champion, who is currently on his comeback trail, as well as Isaac Dogbe. I'm pretty sure a lot of you definitely know Isaac Dogbe if you're a boxing fan. And then, of course, Lauren Jaffet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, join me in welcoming to Now Sports Summary this beautiful Tuesday morning, none other than Mr. John Manfo. John, good morning to you, and thanks for sparing time for us this morning on Now Sports Summary.
Good morning to you and your Radio Now visitors and viewers and listeners, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, a big thank you to you as well for definitely being part of the show today. It's always nice to when we talk to our brothers from Ghana, and of course I'm sure you know about the fact that there's a lot of rivalry going on between Nigeria and Ghana, and of course this is not anything different from that. Let's go straight into it and start the questions. Let's start off first with the fact that during your school days you were involved in boxing and other sports. Were you involved in boxing and other activities? Because I'm trying to find out where the connection started with boxing. Were you into sports or boxing precisely?
Well, actually, when I was at school, I went to school in UK. So we didn't have boxing in school, but we had lots of other rough games, rugby, of course, football, and wrestling, and judo, and all sorts of sports. So I was really a sports person at school. I enjoyed sports. I enjoyed the camaraderie, the rivalry, So I really got a taste of sports when I was, from the ages from 8 going. So yeah, but boxing, I got into boxing mainly because of Azuma Nelson. Yeah, back in those days, Azuma's fights was late at night, so I'll sneak downstairs and turn on the telly and watch Azuma, and then also being practically one of the only Ghanaians in school, when Azuma won, I was put on a pedestal as a champion.
Like your brother is the world champion.
Yes. So that was where my love for boxing really started. And obviously I was in UK, so I grew up watching people like Nigel Benn, and Chris Eubank, Barry McGuigan, all these guys. So Nazim Hamed was one of my Prince Nazim was one of my favorites. He's wild. So
yeah, he's showboating and everything.
Showboating, and obviously, of course, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, all those great guys. So yeah, my love for boxing came from there, and yeah. So now I'm into the thick of it right about now.
Interesting, and I'm not surprised that the likes of Azuma, the Zoom Nelson himself,
yes,
was the man that got you into it. There are a lot of us who also got involved in boxing as a sport, despite its how would I put it now, combat nature. The fact that sometimes it's a very dangerous sport as well. These people just made it look like it is an art anyway. It's an art.
Yeah, they made it look very poetic.
Yeah,
and you don't really see the violence side of it because of how they perform. But definitely it's a dangerous sport. But there's a lot of rules and regulations behind it that makes you try to protect. Help to protect the boxers and make it as safe as possible. I mean, like wrestling too, it's a dangerous sport. So most sports are dangerous. Football, rugby, but once you get the good regulations, good refs, good officials, then everything will be fine. Everything is fine,
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the fact that the IT and telecoms were there's still a thriving industry, and I'm a
Sure.
bit curious as to why you've. I'm not sure yet whether you finally shifted your focus from there into boxing promotion and management. How did that
Well,
happen?
well, I'm a businessman, so um, I never say, well, I never say never.
Okay.
Um, actually, I was doing the IT stuff more when I was in England. And
Okay.
when I came to Ghana at the time, it was quite difficult for me to, I had to settle in Ghana and get used to the system and stuff here.
Okay.
Um, so I got into more fire and safety,
Okay.
supplying safety equipments to those in the oil and gas industry.
Okay.
So that's what really helped me to settle in Ghana. And whilst I was doing that, I got in fact I got introduced. I met Azuma Nelson, and then at the time I got into boxing, that's when I lost my dad. And
Okay. Sorry about
yeah,
that.
thank you. And definitely it was a tough time. So I was introduced to Isaac Dogbe's father around about that time. And it was kind of like a therapy sort of thing, like to help me get over my grief. So I just went head on into boxing. I started off initially with financing, helping Isaac Dogbe and his father do a few fights in Ghana. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm here.
Yes, do a few fights in Ghana. And yeah, that's how I got into boxing. It was through grieving for my dad, and also it's like it was kind of like a therapy for me to help me to get over that bad period in my life. So
Wow.
that's when I got involved. Yeah.
Wow. So you probably could call it an accidental involvement somehow in a way, because it wasn't something that you planned. It was just something that
It
worked.
wasn't something I planned. No,
Yeah.
I,
So
I kind of
that's
fell into it.
yeah, and it worked. I'm sure he must have worked
Yeah.
in taking the part of the grief away from you at that time.
Definitely, because I had to, although I'm still had to focus on the family and make sure everybody is fine and we get through this. But as personally, it helped me to focus on other things, on something else, rather than just I don't know if you've
Having all that,
lost a
yeah.
parent. Yeah, it's always.
I haven't lost yet, and I know I'm going to lose it sometime, but I hope it's going to be in
No,
the farther
it'll
future.
be further down the line.
Yeah, further down the
I
line.
wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it's life.
Yeah, it's an
Um,
inevitable end that
it's yes,
everybody has
yes,
to
yes,
go through. Okay,
yes, yes.
moving on now.
So,
Let's
yeah,
talk about the fact that let's talk about your professional boxing management now. You currently
okay.
manage some title holders. We talked about it in your profile. Wasiru
Yeah.
Mohammed is one of them. Isaac Dogbe, I think, is possibly the most
Okay,
popular, if you ask
yeah.
me, outside of Ghana. And then, of course, there's Japheth. How easy has it been managing these big names, especially when you look at it from the fact that they come from Africa? And it's not just only Ghanaian boxers, but African boxers generally. A lot of people have said they have the potentials for them to dominate the boxing industry globally. But,
Yeah,
mentality and a lot of other things are also involved. And he
yeah,
hasn't really helped us when it comes to being fully disciplined. You find out the likes of Azuma Nelson excelled more, especially because he was also abroad as well for a long time
yes,
and all those
that's
things.
true.
How has it been for you managing some of these title holders in Ghana?
It's been very interesting. I've enjoyed every moment of it. Although there's downsides to most things, but if you have the love and the courage to continue, then there are definitely benefits to be reaped from it. With Isaac, when I came in, I was a big contributor to the team financially. And at that time, I was new at the game, so I
Yeah,
wasn't really on the managerial side. Although I was part of the management team,
yeah,
but I was learning. Let me put it that way.
yeah.
But you know, the support I put into Isaac allowed Isaac to get a chance to fight for the world title.
Okay.
At the time, Isaac was, I think, number 2 in the world or number 3 in the world, and we needed a break. So actually, we got a boxer called Cesar Suarez.
Yeah.
He was a tough guy. He was one of the number 1 contender for the world title at the time. Everybody was afraid of him, but we bid it, and we got the bid and brought him to Ghana.
Okay.
He fought Isaac at the Bukum Arena. And it was the book arena was full. We had presidents, we had stars, we had all sorts of people who were interested in this fight, and it was a great night. And Isaac shone through. He knocked out Suarez. I think it was
Wow.
round 5. It was amazing. It was like one of my first major boxing bouts that I've ever been to, and I was right at the ringside, pacing up and down. It's like, it was crazy.
Because aside from your investment, this is
Yeah.
also your big shot to the
Yes,
title.
yes. And so Isaac did an amazing job, and that night, the whole of Ghana was lit up. And it was a great time. So after that, then Isaac had the chance to now fight the champion.
Yeah.
His name was Jesse Magdaleno, and
Okay.
Jesse Magdaleno there was a lot of banter between him and Isaac, and build up for the fight. And we went to Philadelphia. I think it was February 2018.
Okay.
We went to Philadelphia, and Isaac fought his heart out. I remember the second round, Jesse gave Isaac a couple of blows, and Isaac was like, he fell down. It was like, oh my God. It was like, it was really crazy. I was like, no,
Yeah.
Isaac, you gotta, come on, man.
We've
His
come a long
nickname,
way.
yeah, his nickname in those days was Brave Son. So we say, hey, Brave Son, no, come on, man. Like, get up. We've come a long way, not for this first or second round. So Isaac picked up himself, got himself together, listened to the corner, and he did an amazing job. He came back, and I think he stopped Magdaleno round 11.
Wow.
So it was really amazing, and the feeling of being part of a team that has won the world title was crazy. I tell you, it was unbelievable. So it was a good time. And then from there, I left the Dog Bay team, and then saw another boxer in the same kind of vicinity in Accra.
Okay.
And his name was Wasiri Mohammed. He was a young guy at that time, and
What vicinity is that in Accra?
In an area called Kokomlemle.
I've heard about Kokomlemle.
Yeah, Kokomlemle.
Is that one of them? Is that one of them places where you sometimes call trenches without any disrespect? Are they like trenches?
Yeah, it's sort of like in between. It's a place in between.
Like downtown.
It's like downtown. Yeah, it's like downtown, because you have the Zongo area, which is Nima, just behind there, and then you have the Circle area. I don't know if you've heard of Circle, but Circle is known for commerce.
Yeah. I know. There's a mall there called Circle Mall, I guess.
No, there's Accra Mall.
Oh, there's the Accra Mall. Yeah, I remember that.
Accra Mall.
There's a university around that part as well.
Yeah, there's a Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum.
I know the Circle area now.
Yeah,
I remember that area.
So I wouldn't say it's a rough area, but it's not easy.
Somewhere in between.
It's in between. Yeah. And
So
obviously
Mohammed.
Yeah, so I saw him there, and the skills he was showing and the potential was amazing. He actually sparred with Isaac. Sparring is when it's like two good boxers.
Ahead of a big fight or something.
Yeah. So Wasiru got the better of Isaac that day.
Wow.
And it was.
Well, we get to hear that a lot about great champions. You get to hear the fact that there've been some boxers Anthony Joshua is another good example with
Exactly,
Daniel
exactly.
Dubois as well.
Yes, that fight was very, very surprising to me. I was not shocked, but because in boxing, shocks are quite regular, but in this case, we thought Joshua, with his pedigree and his confidence,
Yeah,
I thought it not be easy work, but I thought he'll dominate. But
yeah.
Dubois
Unfortunately,
showed us.
that's
Dubois
boxing.
showed us, yeah, he showed us the beauty of boxing, that the underdog can, can
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 actually dominate the fight.
can dominate the fight, and he dominated from round one all the way, which was, I mean, it was really incredible to see.
It was a shock, to be honest. It was
It
a
was
big
a
shock.
shock. It was
Now,
a
let
shock.
me ask you. Let me ask you a straightforward question about that.
Yeah,
Now, a lot of
yeah,
people have been calling for Joshua to quit boxing. As a
yeah.
boxing promoter and manager yourself, do you subscribe to that as well?
No. The reason being is that nobody can have perfect record. You gotta lose to get back up again.
Yeah,
And
but the manner
so
with which he has lost is giving a lot of people, and his demeanor in the ring is giving a lot of people concerns to feel that he's
yeah,
not motivated anymore.
no. I mean, if you lose, is a bad thing. Mentally you feel you're not worth it, and you go through a lot. But end of the day, look, Anthony Joshua has knocked out so many other boxers in his
Yeah,
career.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so, not to say, he has to taste it one day, and that day was his day, and so I wouldn't advise Joshua to quit boxing. He's too much of a spearhead in the game, and and for African boxers to he's an inspiration to a lot of African boxers. So I wouldn't advise that he should come back so quickly.
okay,
I heard something like a February fight or something
yeah, for a
in
rematch.
Saudi. Yeah. So I would prefer him to take his time, um, reflect, and then come back, because Dubois is a younger generation coming up,
Yeah,
and and I'm sure Dubois has learned from Joshua too.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's a cycle. We as Africans have to keep supporting ourselves, win or lose. It's just like the Ngannou fight with Joshua.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, Joshua gave him a hefty knockout blow.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Ngannou hasn't quit. Ngannou has
And
got.
it's just won over the weekend.
He just won over the weekend. So it's a mentality thing, and I think Joshua should take his time and reflect, and then come back. Yeah.
Okay. As we
Mm.
move gradually close to the end of the interview session, let's talk about the challenges the boxers themselves face.
Yeah.
What are these challenges, and what do you think that the institution, maybe the boxing authority itself or the government, what do you think they can do to support Ghanaian boxers and even African boxers in their own different countries to actually
Okay.
excel?
Um, um, let's start with government help. Government support in boxing needs to improve. Obviously, but football is seen as the main sport.
Yeah,
The money is in football and all these things. So, but boxing really needs an injection of cash, government, and that will help to develop the youngsters. It will also help to equip gyms, definitely equipment, and gloves and
yeah,
punching bags and punching, so all those things will can help to contribute to develop the sport. Also, I think individual boxers who have talent, because there's a lot of talent in Nigeria. It's a lot more harder for us in West Africa,
yeah,
because our governments are more focused on other sports, especially football.
yeah,
But individual companies, individuals, someone like me who are interested in a sport, have a little bit of money to invest, should get into the game and just help the youngsters. You can go and pick somebody and actually watch them grow in the sport through your influence, and that's exactly what I've done. I've managed to get Wasiru to number 4 on the WBO rankings. We were very close to going for a world title. COVID came around and that slowed everything down. There's a common, we didn't say consensus, but there's a common feel about the way Africa invests in boxing. We need to change it. And I think the mindset of promoters, managers, those in authority nowadays is geared towards developing boxers, because in the long run there's benefits to be had, when they reach the top. So I have a good positive feeling for African boxing in the future.
That's brilliant. I know that was meant to be my last question, but something just popped up in my head now, and I hope we can wrap it up with that one. It's about the issue of management, boxers and their management team. We've always had a situation where boxers come back and say much later in life that they were scammed, or they were actually robbed of their money by their managers. How have you been able to deal with this kind of situation in your own management and promotions?
I'm very transparent kind of person. When there's negotiations, I make sure my boxer is either part of it or he gets a full rundown of what was said, and especially monies, where monies are mentioned and are involved. And then also, I think most in those days, boxers were could not read, could not write. They were quite illiterate in those days. But nowadays, boxers are more clued up, and unless it's some very, very rare situations, most boxers understand the game now. And it would be very hard for a manager to take advantage of their boxers now. We have examples as Don King, and in those days, we have all those stories have come out. But when you talk about Don King, don't forget they are talking about millions of dollars. A boxer maybe in a fight is going to earn 3 million and ends up getting $1 million. Or when he should have got maybe 1.5. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's not small money, but in saying that, those practices, I can't say it's been eradicated, but it's not so much as it used to be. I'm very transparent with my managing style, and what you see is what you get. And I haven't really had any issue with that. Obviously, people want to steal your boxer or take your boxer away. We'll put those things out there. And say, oh, your manager is cheating you. You should be getting this. You should be getting that. Okay, then come and manage him. If you feel you can do better, then come and manage him. Yes, and then go through the day-to-day problems and struggles with their family, with the team, and so many other things. So if you think you can do a better job, then bring your money and put it in. Because you got to remember, somebody is spending money to make you get to a position where the boxer can command heavy fees. You get me? So without that, sometimes the boxers have to realize that it's not, we pray to God, and God doesn't just throw money to the manager. The manager too is praying to God so that he can get money and help to manage you. So it's a two-way street. The best is both both manager and boxer should have that relationship of trust and believe in each other. You know, if I didn't believe in any of those guys, I'd rather put my money into my own son and my own daughter. You know what I'm saying? And then to go and put money into somebody else's son. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have the love. You got to have the love. And obviously, there's unscrupulous people who see management as a way to make their money. That one is in every industry. So you just got to be fortunate enough to land with the right person. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay, I guess that brings us to the end of this nice and interesting interview session. It's been eagerly awaited. It's been long overdue as well. So thank you very much, John
You're
Manfo,
welcome. Most welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, John Manfo, once again.
Okay, I'm always available for you guys. Whenever you want me to come back,
anytime,
just let me know. I really enjoyed myself, and thank you.
We will definitely be getting in touch with you whenever we have some of these big fights coming up, so that you can do some analysis for us and all those.
Okay, that's great.
We'll definitely be calling you on that.
Thank you so much.
So I want to say thank you again. John Manfo is a boxing promoter and a manager, and is also a member of the Ghana Boxing Authority, GBA. It's been nice talking to you, John.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
You too.